Thank you. I'm calling to order the regular session Monday, October 3rd at 5 o'clock here in the main assembly room of our voting meeting. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lundy.
Here.
Commissioner Derrick.
Here.
Commissioner Oster. Here. Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Lee. Here. Commissioner Beeler.
Here.
Commissioner Daly. Here. Commissioner Jay.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Present.
All 11 members are present.
Thank you, and we do have a quorum. Do we have any elected officials in the room tonight? Please wave if you're here. Who are you? I apologize. Please come forward and introduce yourself, sir.
Lowell Russell. Lowell Russell from Loudoun County.
Oh, my goodness.
We didn't recognize you.
It's the hat. So, State Representative Lowell Russell from the 21st District. I'm here with Marshall Andy.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, do we have any others? And I apologize, sir, my eyes don't look that far. Also up here, to my left, we have Kim Ellis, who's with the clerk's office, and to my right, I have Gina Oster, and next to her is Mike Moyers with our law director's office. At this point, I'd like to turn this over to Commissioner Durrett for our devotional.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the spirit of celebrating the season we have now entered into, I would like to reflect on the beauty of nature's transformation. As the leaves turn vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow, let us find inspiration in those changing seasons. This month reminds us of the importance of life as nature sheds its old and embraces the new. Let this be a reminder to us to let go of what no longer serves us and welcome growth and change with open arms. In October, the days grow shorter and the nights grow longer. This is a time to appreciate the quiet moments, to find solace in the gentle embrace of darkness, and to seek inner peace. As we savor the flavors of autumn, from pumpkin spice to crisp apples, let us also savor the moments with loved ones, as this is a time for cozy gatherings and warm conversations. Let us not forget to give thanks for the abundance in our lives and to share our blessings with those less fortunate. The harvest this season teaches us value of generosity and community. Let us honor this season as a time of reflection, transformation, gratitude, and togetherness. May it inspire us to live our lives with mindfulness, embracing change, and cherishing the beauty in every season. And I would also like to have a moment of silence for the passing of Larry Cox, who was a fantastic person and truly an ambassador to North Knoxville. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Durrett. And also, if we could just please keep in our hearts and prayers, we've put two of our boys, so to speak, our police officer and then also an active duty member in Commissioner Beeler's community that came home that was also buried this past week. And just a reminder, too, of our problems that we have overseas, not only in our issues with Ukraine, but also our horrible atrocities that are occurring in Israel at this time. So let's just all be very mindful of how blessed we are to be here in our own United States of America. So thank you for that. Commissioner Beeler, if you'd lead the pledge, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please stand, face our nation's flag, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Thank you so much. And moment of privilege, please. I'm going to turn the floor over to Commissioner Schoonmaker as he'd like to make an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last week, the Tennessee County Commissioners Association held their annual meeting in Chattanooga. And at the award ceremony, out of 1,620 commissioners across the state of Tennessee, they recognized 3 commissioners from each of the grand divisions. And the gentleman that was selected from East Tennessee, kind of beating out 510 other colleagues that are county commissioners in East Tennessee, was none other than our own Carson Daly. Would you please stand and show your appreciation for this outstanding Tennessee County Commissioner? I hope that'll end up on the front page somewheres of our local media.
I do too.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You are welcome. And up here, just so everyone knows, we affectionately call him our litter commissioner. So your reputation is well deserved, Commissioner. You're welcome. All right. Moving on at this point, if it be the pleasure of the body, we're going to set the agenda. And the changes that we have at this point, if you'll look at items 48, 49, and 50 are all deferred. We have no withdrawals. Non-consent is item 1. We are also pulling item 25 that was on consent last week and you moving it to non-consent. There's just a brief explanation that will accompany that. Item 43, 44, 46, 47, 51, and 52. To repeat, non-consent, 1, 25, 43, 44, 46, 47, 51, and 52. If that pleases the body, I'd also like to have a motion including the agenda and also consent for our education and government consent calendars.
Second.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Motion by Daly, second by
Sorry.
you. Durrett. Discussion, yes, ma'am.
I am confused with item 1 being on non-consent.
I beg, that was my error, and the clerk just called it to
Okay.
my attention,
So is it 41?
Thank you. No, it's Resolution 101.
Got it. So it is item number 41.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you for pointing that out. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you'd read the first. No, let's go on and do the honorary resolutions, all right? If you'd read the first honorary resolution, please. We just did. We all under one motion. Kevin?
So we're on item number 41, which is an honorary resolution 101. It's honoring and celebrating the life and career of Marshall Andy Smiles, America's Cowboy.
Motion to approve.
Motion by, help me here. Motion by Jay, second by Schoonmaker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The floor is yours, Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Commissioners, for allowing me the privilege of honoring one of our local legends and one of everyone's friend. Because it seems like everybody I talk to about Mr. Andy Smalls says, "Oh, I love that guy." And so we use this opportunity and this time at Commission to honor those who have had established careers, have made contributions to our society in significant ways, have even affected and impacted hundreds of thousands of lives. And today, I think our honorary guest has done all of those things combined. And so welcome to Commission. And thank you for all the supporters who came and joined him, including our state representative. I have a resolution before you where it says, whereas Marshall Andy, as we know him, Smalls, has been a beloved resident and local celebrity in East Tennessee since 1968, delighting our community with his musical performances and captivating storytelling. And whereas Marshall Andy has been a cherished radio and television personality, hosting programs that featured musical performances, engaging interviews, and enthralling storytelling throughout his illustrious career, including as host of the Marshall Andy and the Riders of the Silver Screen, airing every Saturday on East Tennessee PBS for over 33 years. And whereas Marshall Andy Smalls' unwavering dedication to entertaining the East Tennessee community has garnered him numerous awards and accolades, including the prestigious Colonel Aide-de-Camp certificate issued by Governor Bill Lee. This certificate recognizes his outstanding achievements and 39 years of making a profound, positive impact on Tennessee, and receiving this honor at East Tennessee PBS on October 1st, 2022. And whereas Marshall Andy has tirelessly performed live and on-screen appearances at schools, festivals, and all while hosting his weekly television program on East Tennessee PBS. And whereas Marshall Andy is the embodiment of positivity and honor, consistently encouraging his fans and fellow citizens of East Tennessee to conduct themselves with honesty and integrity, embodying the spirit of the good guys from our classic Westerns. And whereas Marshall Andy Smalls, through his exemplary dedication, has garnered the admiration and respect of his colleagues, subordinates, and community members alike. And whereas Marshall Andy Smalls, at the young age and spry age of 91, has made the difficult decision to retire from his distinguished career, leaving behind a legacy of professionalism, integrity, and dedicated service that will forever be cherished by our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Commission of Knox County as follows. Commission of Knox County hereby honors Marshall Andy Smalls, for his positive impact and many contributions to improving and entertaining the people of East Tennessee and Knox County for over 30 years, and wishes him the best in his much-deserved retirement. Please join me in a round of applause for our friend, Andy Smalls. Come on up.
Jimmy's trying to square me up with the table if you can.
Here, we'll just bring this over. How
Yeah,
about that?
that's fine.
There you go.
Well, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I noticed one of the worst things in the world can happen, other than a terrible accident or death or something, to a person is start to lose his voice right before. Something's going on right now. They tell me everywhere I go, someone's having throat problems and can hardly talk. And it's affected my voice and my throat. But anyway, I'm so honored and feel so special tonight, much, much more than I deserve. I've been honored from Nashville as well with the proclamations, 2 of them. But I hold this one right up there top with everybody because I love Knoxville and East Tennessee. I want you to know that Ted Turner sent me here in 1968 from New York City. And from there, he sold the company. It was Turner Advertising, outdoor advertising at the time. And then it became sold to another group of people that bought it. They kept it a while, and I decided that I would stay with them. And then Ted said, no, I want you back in Atlanta. So I moved back, and I had to leave East Tennessee. And ever since, I guess the next year or year and a half, I was trying my best to get back to East Tennessee, Knoxville, preferably. Well, this is what happened. Charles Tombras, who owned the Lost Sea, have y'all heard of that? Owned that place, and he said, we just bought 2-3 acres of land over here, and it's got a cave on it. And I understand you want to come back to Knoxville. Would you come back as our marketing director? So 2 years later, I told Ted goodbye and came back to Knoxville. And it's the best thing I ever did because people took to me like bees to honey. I don't know what it was or what I've done, but whatever it was, I hope it lasts as long as I am. I hate to correct anyone who has previously introduced me. Totally, I've just retired from 40 years. I was with 2 other stations before I went to East Tennessee PBS. I have been there over 33 years. And the other things, I just turned 94 instead of 91. Now, I have always been a positive person. I remember the time the man told me, he says, I've got this great young salesman, but he can't speak on his feet. He's so good, but we take him to a Rotary Club, and he can't even introduce his wife. Said, what can we do with him? Said, we'll send him to the next Dale Carnegie course that comes. Well, he went there, and he was the greatest speaker. As it turned out, he was the man for the final night of all of the awards, they called him. And on the way home, now this man is really, really positive. In my life, I have never, ever hung out with negative people. I love positive thinking, positive doing. So I could just see how this could happen to someone. But negativity will win. You put 10 people in a motel room, and one of them is negative, all 10 of them turn out the next morning the same way. It's just that way. I don't know what it is, but negativism's that way. Well, anyway, on the way home that night, his wife was with him, and she was so proud of him. The police were up there, and they were gathered around the bridge, and the cars were stopping, and they looked up, and the man was getting ready to jump. And he said, oh, God, I could save that man. I know how to save him right now. She said, leave them alone. Let the police handle this. And he says, no, I can do it. He pulls his coat off. He hands it to her. He scales up the side of the bridge. It's one of those big iron measured bridges like we used to have right there at UT. And the guy's sitting out there on the edge. And he says, don't come any further. If you come, I'm going to jump. He says, no, but I can help you. I can help you. He says, stay where you are if you move. He says, no, please. Just let me come and sit down by you and talk to you. He said, okay, but I'm going to jump. You come on. He went out there and he sat down by that man and they started talking. And they talked 10 minutes later. They both jumped. Well, that's it. I'm going to leave you with the man in the glass. I've always never admired myself, but I have to watch him regardless every morning when I get up to shave. I did shave. Yeah, I did. Well, getting back for just a second, I haven't completely, I think Vicki, who runs the place, and standing behind me here, will tell you that I haven't completely left East Tennessee PBS. I'll go back on special occasions, and I certainly will. What I say we're doing right now, we have joined the Andy Griffith mode, reruns. That's where we are right now. We just had our 4th one since our 4th one this week will be on Saturday, will be that. But anyway, I'll share this with you. When you get what you want in the struggle for self, and this would make you king or queen for a day, then go to the mirror and look at yourself. See what that guy has to say. For he's the one you must trust. Never mind all the rest. He's with you clear up to the end, and you've passed your most dangerous and difficult test if the man in the glass is your friend. For it isn't your husband or your wife upon whose judgment you must pass, The guy's verdict that counts most in this life is the one looking back in the glass. You can be like Jack Horner and chisel a plum and think, what a wonderful guy. But the guy in the glass says, you're only a bum if you can't look him straight in the eye. You can fool the whole world down through the years, and you'll get some pats on your back as you pass. But your final reward will be heartaches and tears if you've cheated that man in the glass.
Commissioners, if you'll please join me on stage. Thank you. I'm going to give this to you when we get up here.
Okay.
Yes, actually, we're gonna do pictures, yeah, yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
I will. Oh, yes, sir. Hope to see you soon. Most of my family's from Monroe County. They're Snipes.
I know, Benny.
Just push a little up button.
I think I'm going to do it after this, after the presentation, and then we'll go back to 25. Yeah, we do. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Next item, please.
Presentation from Friends of the Library.
Thank you. Ms. Sharon Smith hardly needs an introduction to any of us. She has carried on in this role and many other roles to benefit our community, but especially with our Friends of the Library. We appreciate that you come every year, that you talk to us a little bit about what it is that you all do to help us and help our libraries. So I'm not going to steal your thunder, Sharon. Please say a few words.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity to come before you this evening. I am just so proud of our library system here in Knox County, and on behalf of the Friends of the Library, we just come every year as to celebrate National Friends of the Library Week, which we did just celebrate this past week. We are a 501c3 volunteer-run organization dedicated to fostering a love of libraries, books, and reading through community outreach, advocacy, and support of the Knox County Public Library System and staff. Our library serves everybody in the community, and it's open. And if you have not visited your local branch, I encourage you to do so. There is so many wonderful things happening in every single one of these branches, and especially if you can attend at Children's Time. It's just so much fun. And Santa comes at Christmas time, and we celebrate Dr. Seuss, and we do so many fabulous things. So again, but the library would not be what it is without you all and our mayor who support reading and our libraries in the community. And without that funding, it just wouldn't be what it is. So I'm here tonight just to thank you for your support and to ask you for your continued support, which is desperately needed. Material goes up, it seems like, just like everything else. The Friends are here as a support role, and I just want to let you know that for this year, for 2023-24, we've made a commitment to the library for an extra $50,000 toward programming and storybook trails, and just to supplement everything else that this community needs. So again, thank you for coming, for letting me come tonight. Enjoy the special treats that I've brought. And we will see you again next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to Friends of the Library. All right, we've completed our presentations. We are now going to pick up on item 25. Madam Clerk?
Item 25 is Resolution 503. It's approving 3 agreements with Legal Aid of East Tennessee, $1,500,000, Community Mediation Center, $200,000, and Knoxville, Knox County Community Action Committee, $1,500,000, in Treasury Emergency Rental Assistance, ERA2 funds for eviction prevention and housing stability services, federally funded through Treasurer ERA2 program funds, state pass-through.
Thank you. And before I take a motion on this, this was brought to my attention by Ms. Holden. She's our Director of Grants and Community Development, that there was a few minor changes in the contract. So we appreciate you bringing this to us very much. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I apologize for the late changes on these. We found out Friday, these are state-funded contracts, and THDA wanted us to make just a couple of tweaks on our subrecipient. We have kind of a standard agreement that we use, and there are no material changes to this contract. The biggest change is they wanted us to include the 1937 Housing Act definition of low-income families. So you will see that under Section A, Part 1, and then they wanted us to add a link to the Treasury's program on the appendix and spell out a little bit more of that language. We normally just cite the program and say you must follow all rules of the program, but THDA just wanted us to put a few specifics in under that Appendix B.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve this item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Frazier, second by Jay. Do we have any questions or discussion with Ms. Holden?
Thank you.
Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, please. Correct.
Public forum.
Thank you. We have 3 people signed up. The first is Constance Every. Thank you. And for clarification, all of you that are speaking now,
Can you put the agenda item on the screen?
the item is 42310-211, correct?
Yeah, it should be 10, 11, I think it was 16 and 17.
I have 211, 301, and 302. You're talking about item numbers, correct?
Right. Those are the line items I signed up for.
All right,
Which one are we speaking to first, number 10 or 11?
all right, hold on a minute here. Item 10, hold on 1 minute, please. All right, thank you. Addressing item 10, if you'd identify yourself and your county, please, and I will give you 2 minutes to speak on each item.
Why 2, not 3?
That is a total of 8 minutes that you actually will be having the floor. I will give you 2 minutes to speak on this first item.
Interesting. Run it. Okay, so Constance, Knox County. I'm speaking to the first agenda item, number 11, because we are taking in roughly over $1 million. When you read the resolution, this money is going primarily towards school security. The concern is that school security has been funded for years across America. We have not seen success in this particular space. I want to challenge you all to start considering wraparound care services instead. You know, I cannot continue to not express the frustration that we hold over Anthony Thompson Jr. And after we watched last school year and this school year, white students particularly brought guns into the schools. But the kicker is that they were not killed nor murdered. However, if we were being serious about addressing the issues that are causing children to bring guns into schools in the first place, which is the things of such as housing and housing affordability, if we were addressing the food disparities that we are dealing with, the medical deserts that these communities hold, and more importantly, wraparound care services pertaining towards mental health services to assist these children with the dynamics of their home life as well as their community life, then maybe instead of dumping money into police officers that have shown ineffective capabilities, we actually could start addressing the real concerns and issues around the issues we're having that quote unquote address or even concern security in the first place. I cannot understand how we are continuing to give money to police and we are having a housing crisis, an affordability crisis, and a homeless crisis right here in Knoxville, and you all continue to think the best thing to do with our tax dollars, taxpayers' money, me and other individuals in the community who have expressed multiple times and multiple occasions what we want our money to go towards, you continue to dump it into police departments that are unaccounted for, rogue in their behavior, and more importantly, are more threats than they are ever been security to particular demographics of community people and individuals. I yield my time on that initiative.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The next item we're looking at is item 11. All right. I had you signed up down here for 10, 11, 16, and 17. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Well, they're very, all right. Now you may speak to item 10.
So, same thing. So if you take the two initiatives, we got 1.1, 2.4, we're roughly around $4 million. There is a way that we could be very effective with the funding to address the real issues and concerns of the community, and it's not more police. This is not shown to be effective. I think people forget why we even started bringing police into schools. I'll remind you real quick. Sandy Holt and Columbine, those are the first two to stick out. What happened? White kids that were getting bullied brought guns to school and started blasting on teachers and students. That's actually why police were brought into the schools. However, let's fast forward to the history. Now you got Sandy Hook, Columbine, we brought police in, and now let's start looking at the data. What data starts showing? Data showed us that we started increasing that prison to school pipeline system when we started bringing cops into our schools that particularly target black and brown students, especially black and brown students from lower income communities. So again, data is showing more police is not the answer to the issues of our schools. We need to really focus on wraparound care services. So for all the elected people that's on the ballot this year, pay attention, because this is what we want. We want to see someone platform on their campaign trail something about wraparound care services like mental health professionals and therapists. You know, Councilwoman Parker has tried to initiate HART. It's not hard for a county member to pick up the same thing because that's what that is. It's a crisis response care and service that could easily be implemented into our our school system at the same time. As I stated before, we need to address food and medical deserts. East Knoxville, 37914, 37915, these 37914, these areas are known as actually having true food apartheid issues because we don't have a fresh grocery store in the community unless you go all the way down Asheville Highway to Kroger's. That's the first real available food store for the East Knoxville area in general. So we have to address that concern. And more importantly, we don't have a hospital. We don't even have a health department location in our community. We have a lot of community members who are worried about surviving a 911 call long enough to make it to the closest hospital, which will unfortunately now be Fort Sanders, because you close this one over on the south side and you close St. Mary's to create basically a miniature cop city is what we have at this point going. So you all really need to look at the issues that this community is facing and stop dumping money into the police.
Thank you. Item 16, if you'd put that up on the screen, please. Ms. Avery.
Yeah, I see it. Wait for you to start the clock.
Thank you. Floor is yours.
All right, so item 16, we want to know what this training equipment is, because the other concern that we have is that we have seen our police departments take surplus military equipment, which again, what reason does a police department have to have surplus military equipment? Are we having Afghanistan right here in Knoxville? Are we dealing with Iraq in Knoxville? If the answer is no, then the question is, what reason can the police departments of Knoxville, Knox County explain their necessity of needing this type of training equipment? With it being so vague and not direct, we have to assume, unfortunately, this is probably some of the type of equipment that we're talking about once again. We already had an article drop when we did a protest for Andy Thompson Jr. expressing concern around a Black Hawk flying around the city. It takes $100,000 a minimum of taxpayers' dollars just to fly it. And y'all flowed that thing multiple times while we protest. That's almost $1 million you wasted. But more importantly, what was the reason of having such equipment? We know that the KPD has surplus training equipment that I use. I'm a disabled combat veteran that went to Afghanistan, and we use a training module that trained us for Afghanistan urban climate and environments to actually train on to shoot people with. And the kicker is KPD has that equipment in their possession. For what? Literally, for what? What are y'all buying this equipment for? What are you spending on? What is the purpose and need of it? So in my consideration is, again, asking, what do you want almost $15,000 of training equipment for? What are you using it for? What is its purpose? Why would it be served? And more importantly, where are you getting it from as far as your government resources and intel that you're collecting the information and the equipment from to bring into our facilities, into our cops' possession, and into their hands for training? I yield the time.
Thank you, Ms. Avery. And the final item is item 17.
You know it, fam.
The floor is yours.
All right. And so last but not least, we see $100,000 again coming into the Highway Taxi Patrol along with Knox County Sheriff Department. And again, we're going to have to express the continued concerns of seeing this overfunding of bloated budgeting into our police departments. And let's not forget, this is a police department that can't even maintain its own equipment. We found out that 2 young men was running around busting out windows and stealing police equipment. I'm trying to understand this. You all tell us as the constituent public that we have a due diligence to protect our equipment and our weapons and our cars, but then the police department literally cannot do the same thing. And I'm just trying to understand, how do you have a double standard of enforcement where your police department can't even maintain their equipment, but then we as the public are supposed to maintain our equipment? Or we can be charged a fine for the same crimes. You know, we talked about this cop that got killed. I find it interesting that we have not seen a single body cam footage. I don't believe anything the police say. I really don't, because after having some of the experiences I've had with our police departments, I'm very convinced that most of the time you're probably telling some type of lie or you're telling an alternate story or truth to the matter of the fact. And so I just think it's interesting how we are honoring this cop, maybe not saying he doesn't deserve such honors, but the irony is that we have not seen any evidence of what happened on that call. Still waiting for that. I'm dying to see it. And maybe that's not your jurisdiction. Maybe that's Charm Allen jurisdiction. But, you know, given her history as a corrupted district attorney, I highly doubt we'll really see any true faithfulness from her office in the same matter. But again, Why are we over bloating the budget for our police departments? We have so many crises and so many needs right here in our own communities. Taxpayers have been demanding certain issues and certain concerns to be addressed, and yet and still, pay attention, Knoxville, your money's been prioritized to a police department that takes up over 42% of the budget on the city and the county side. So they're well funded for, but you know what's not funded? Housing. You know what's not funded? Public transportation. You know what's not funded? Grocery stores. You know what's not funded? Medical services. You know what's not funded? A whole lot of things. Education. It's multiple things we could spend that money on instead of a bloated police department, as I said before, who is unaccountable for their actions and behavior. I yield my time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our next speaker on public forum is Keith Brett. If you'd identify yourself, please, and county of residence, and you will have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Keith Britt, 506 Knowlton Drive. I'll be brief. I'm here to discuss your legislative priorities that you'll be sending up to the state delegation. Most specifically, the third item on that document on page 1, TDOT investment. I don't disagree with anything that you placed in that paragraph, but I'm hoping that you will refine it to be a little bit more specific and call out both Kingston Pike and North Shore Drive. Those are both state routes that have become choke points. They have several public schools on them. They have, I think I counted 7 to 8 preschools directly tied to them, and traffic on those roads is becoming not only, it's not a problem, it's a serious safety concern here. I like what you've done in the in that section calling for community and pedestrian connectivity, but I am a pedestrian on those roads, and and I'm able to walk on the sidewalk. But it's unsafe to cross the street right now. We just got done with Greek Fest, and that was I saw at least 3 strollers almost get hit by cars during Greek Fest, and that's probably the slowest section of Kingston Pike. My kids' preschool I have to turn left off of Kingston Pike after you go through the North Shore intersection onto Dean Hill Drive, and the way that the traffic flows through there, I know that's supposed to be addressed by 2028, but it's a problem right now to where cars are nearly coming into head-on collisions trying to get into that turning lane because it's serving 2 directions at the same time. So I don't have any specific solutions that I'm calling for, but I'm hoping that you'll call out those 2 specific state routes as severe problems in our community. It's holding back, not only is it a traffic and a pedestrian safety problem, it's holding back business investment right now. I'm actually a party defendant in a lawsuit right now because I opposed a Taco Bell on Kingston Pike, and so now I'm being sued by Taco Bell for getting that turned away at City Council. But the reason that I don't have any opposition to Taco Bell, it's delicious, but the side of the road on Kingston Pike they were proposing building it on would have absolutely been a death trap for an elementary school that it was proposed to go right next to. So it literally business development is being held back by the traffic patterns on those 2 state routes right now, and I'm hoping that you can convince our state delegation to address those. I know Senator Massey would probably be very, amenable to those calls for help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And our last speaker is Greg Mills. Mr. Mills? Yes, because they're not on the agenda. Hi. I see that you have signed up for 2 items.
Yes.
All right, to continue with the consistency, then I'll allow you 2 minutes on each item. If you would identify yourself and your county of residence, and we'll post item 25 first.
They kind of work together, so could I just have 4 minutes total?
Yes, sir,
at one time?
that would be acceptable.
Okay, thank you. My name is Greg Mills, and I'm a resident of Knox County. And I'd like to speak on item 25, specifically the rental assistance funds. And my issue is I have no problem with you accepting it. I'm sure it can help some people out. But what I don't see on the agenda is anything to solve the housing issue long-term. And so I'm sure you're gonna have to do this again, pretty soon. So anyway, I got 3 ideas for you to really maybe start making housing a little more affordable instead of just sitting back and watching what's going on. First, item 52, why not ask the state to, rein in UT and make them grow in a more responsible manner and have a kind of a better student-to-student housing ratio than what they've demonstrated over the last couple of years. I think that would help quite a bit of this. And second, why not go ahead and update the RA and RAE zones to prohibit not the ownership activity, but the economic activity of charging rentals. That'll get, I went to a meeting last week, and I think they said that nationwide, the institutions are expected to own over 50% of the single-family homes by the end of the decade. So you need to start addressing that, pretty soon. And I think if you just focus on the economic issue right and not the ownership right, there's all kinds of things that are banned currently in that zone. I think there's only about 24 things I can do, where if it was a zone for commercial, there was thousands of things I could do. So, you can grandfather in the ones that are there, but, this, they're still doing the, up at the Washington DC and everywhere, they're still doing the bank bailouts. And I think all of us are on the hook, because what I saw, Larry Summers' estimate was $100 each just for the Silicon Valley Bank bailout that they did earlier this year. So it's not exactly a level playing field that is going on out there when that kind of, market manipulation is going on at the federal level. So I hope you will, either do it on your own or put it up to vote in the county to start reining in these, this, regression to the feudal system that we seem to be bound and determined to go to. And the third point is just, simply bring those two items up to the city at the next meeting, with them where it would make sense to do so. But like I said, it's, I don't really want to see item 25, as a recurring theme. I think it really needs to be, addressed on a long-term basis instead of just this Band-Aid approach that you're doing tonight. So I hope you'll consider those, three ideas that I have. And I know it's going to make some people unhappy not being able to just charge rents and contribute nothing but homelessness and economic malaise and higher housing prices to society. But it's time, they got stood up to. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. We do have one other speaker signed up, and just so that there's no a misunderstanding here, the speakers that we've heard from are the ones that are directly toward agenda items. At the end of the business still in front of us, then we will have the public forum, and the next speaker will be called on. All right, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Durrett, second by Frazier. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Line item transfers, total amount of $100,620.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jay, second by Schoonmaker. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is budget amendments, total amount of $3,100,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jay, second by Schoonmaker. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Notary applications, we have 173.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Courtney, motion by Durrett, second by Frazier. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Spread of record, the Knox County Sheriff's reappointment of Wade Russell, Rusty Goddard, to serve on the Knox County Ethics Committee, which term expires October 31st, 2027.
Thank you. Next item.
Item number 46, Resolution 110, is appointing 2 members to the Knox County Ethics Committee. Terms expire October 31st, 2027.
Thank you very much. For clarification, we do have 2 openings. The candidates that are still in consideration are Jesse Craigwall, Crystal Gibson, Marcus Hillard, and Joseph Ruffalo. That's how he told me to remember it. I apologize for that. All right, I'm going to read the procedure, and we'll continue after the procedure is read. The clerk will call the roll, and as your name is called, you may nominate a candidate or pass. Once we have gone down the roll, the chair will look for a motion to cease nominations. The clerk will call the roll again. This time you will say the name of the candidate in which you would like to vote. If a candidate receives a majority, that person will be appointed to the position. If there is no majority, then the candidate with the lowest number of votes will drop off, and we will repeat the process. All right, do we have any questions? All right, and I believe it was pointed out to me that we need to begin in District 4 for nominations. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ward,
Pass.
Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Marcus Hilliard,
Commissioner Hill,
Pass.
Commissioner Lee, Commissioner Beeler,
Ms. Gibson?
Commissioner Daly, Commissioner Jay,
Mr. Cragwell.
Commissioner Frazier,
Pass.
Commissioner Lundy,
Pass.
Commissioner Durrett,
Pass.
Commissioner Oster. So, we have 3 names or 3 nominations.
We have 3 that have been nominated.
Motion to cease nominations.
Thank you. Second. Motion by Beeler, second by Jay. All right, and we will begin roll call with District 4.
Pass.
Commissioner Ward, you pass? Okay. Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Crystal Gibson,
Commissioner Hill,
Hillard,
Commissioner Lee, Commissioner Beeler,
Gibson?
Commissioner Daly, Commissioner Jay,
Cragwell.
Commissioner Frazier,
Cragwell.
Commissioner Lundy,
Hilliard.
Commissioner Durrett,
Hilliard.
Commissioner Oster,
Gibson.
pass, wish to vote? Yes, Commissioner.
What's the count?
Can you announce it before?
The candidate asked.
Because it's announced.
Am I
Yeah.
allowed- am I
All right,
allowed?
then do Gibson then.
thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll change my vote to Gibson this first round.
Same.
Okay, so. Eight. 8 for Gibson and 3 for Hilliard, because they changed their vote.
All righty.
8 for Gibson.
All righty. We have 8 votes
For Ms. Gibson.
for Ms. Gibson, Crystal Gibson, and 3 votes for Mr. Hillard. So Crystal Gibson will be the first name added to the ballot. All right.
And do I do nominations again? or
Yes,
go
we
with those?
do, yes.
Okay.
All right, we will begin the nomination process again, beginning with District 5, please.
Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Hilliard,
Commissioner Hill,
Pass.
Commissioner Lee, we're on nominations, so,
Yeah.
so she can.
Yes, yes, that's, he
He's
is on the list.
Okay. Commissioner Beeler,
Mr. Cragwell.
Commissioner Daly,
Pass.
Commissioner Jay.
Cragwell.
This is for nominations, and he's been
Nomination,
nominated.
Cragwell.
Okay.
Was he already nominated?
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I didn't hear that. Thank
That's
you.
all right.
Commissioner Frazier,
Pass.
Commissioner Lundy,
Pass.
Commissioner Durrett,
Pass.
Commissioner Oster,
Pass.
Commissioner Ward. Okay. We have 3 nominees.
All right. Do I have a motion to accept these candidates?
Motion to cease nominations?
Motion to cease by Durrett, second by Beeler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. We'll do a roll call again, beginning with our next district. The candidates are Hillard, Ruffalo, and Cragwell. All right?
Okay. Commissioner Hill,
Hillard,
Commissioner Lee, Commissioner Beeler,
Cragwell.
Commissioner Daly,
Hillard.
Commissioner Jay,
Cragwell.
Commissioner Frazier,
Cragwell.
Commissioner Lundy,
Hilliard.
Commissioner Durrett,
Hilliard.
Commissioner Oster,
Hilliard.
Commissioner Ward,
Hilliard.
Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Hilliard,
and Commissioner Lee. You passed. Do you want to vote?
I'd like to change my vote, Madam Chair.
all right?
If I may, to Hilliard, please.
Okay. Any other changes? So Hilliard
All right, we have a vote, and Commissioner Hillard has received, I'm sorry, Mr. Hillard's received 9 votes. So that is more than a majority. So the 2 names that will be added for the Ethics Commission then are Crystal Gibson
and Marcus Hilliard.
and Marcus Hillard.
So we need to approve the resolution with those names.
Would you please reread the resolution?
Okay. It's a resolution appointing Crystal Gibson and Marcus Hilliard to the Knox County Ethics Committee. Terms expire October 31st, 2027.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Jay, second by Schoonmaker. Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations to you two. We look forward to having you serve with Knox County. Next item, please.
The next item is number 47. It's Resolution 111, appointing a 4th District representative to the Knox County Board of Zoning Appeals. Term expires September 30th, 2025.
All right, and given this is a District 4, I will turn the floor over to Commissioner Ward.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for everybody's patience with me being away on vacation and being sick last week. My candidate is a federal employee, and he's currently leaving his position. He can't be nominated until he leaves his federal appointment. He's currently turning in, he was supposed to be last month, he's turning in this month, and will be eligible next month. So I asked the commission to please defer to next month, and he will be available next month to be appointed at that point in time.
All right. Is that a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
We have a motion by Ward for deferral, second by Schoonmaker. Is there any discussion on this item? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Madam Chair, or Madam Clerk.
Okay. Item 51 is ordinance O-23-9-101. It's amending the Knox County Code, Chapter 42, Article 2, Division 2, Section 42-64, Political Activities Restricted, to clarify that sheriff office personnel may become a candidate for elective office in order to comply with changes to the Hatch Act. This amends ordinance O-90-9-111, adopted September 10th, 1990, and ordinance O-22-6-103, adopted July 25th, 2022. This is on second reading.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Frazier, second by Jay. Do we have any discussion on this item? Seeing none, yes, District 2? Oh, sorry. All right, seeing no lights, this does call for a roll call vote. All right, Madam Clerk, if you would begin with District 1, it's fine.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Durrett.
Aye.
Commissioner Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Ward.
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Lee. Commissioner Beeler.
Aye.
Commissioner Daly.
Aye.
Commissioner Jay.
Aye.
Commissioner Frazier.
Aye.
11 aye.
All right, that passes 11-0. All right, our next item is public forum for open topics. We do have one speaker. If you'd come forward, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. If you would please introduce yourself with your name and your county of residence, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Yes, my name is Zainab Ansari, and county of residence is Knox County. This is an appeal to stop the dehumanization of Palestinians and a call for a ceasefire. For the past 40 years, the Muslim community of Knoxville has provided religious and spiritual support to Muslims and people of other faiths in Knoxville. We represent about 5,000 residents of Knox County. We stand united in condemning the killing of innocent civilians, no matter their background, ethnicity, or religion. We call on our elected officials and community leaders to also condemn the killing of all innocent civilians. Since October 7, we have watched in extreme dismay as our local, state, and national leaders have made proclamations of support for Israel while completely ignoring or even explicitly supporting the collective punishment Israel has meted out on innocent Palestinian civilians. You know, I had to update the numbers in this statement. When it was written, we had a death toll at 4,000. Now, the death toll is over 5,000 innocent people. Actually over 2,000 of those killed in Palestine are children. We have a community member who lost 30 members of his family alone. The third oldest church in the world is in Palestine. It's been destroyed by the government of Israel. In laying a complete siege over the densely populated Gaza Strip, the Israeli government has limited or denied over 2 million people's access to drinking water, food, electricity, and fuel. These actions are now called by scholars, including Jewish scholars, a textbook case of genocide. This violence did not start in October 2023. Just for this context, Palestinians were forcibly removed from their homes or fled in fear during the 1948 founding of the State of Israel. We have families in Knoxville whose history actually has been impacted by this. 2023 was on track to be the deadliest year for Palestinian children even before October 7 happened. In the limited time that I have, I want to thank you for giving the opportunity to speak, and I want to say the following. We strongly urge our elected officials and civic leaders to publicly affirm your care and concern for Palestinian lives. Let's not ignore or encourage Israel's heavy-handed retribution. We call on all people of conscience to denounce collective punishment and genocide. As people of faith, we turn to God during times of distress and seek justice for all, as the Holy Quran tells us. O you who have attained to faith, be steadfast in your devotion to God, bearing witness to the truth in all equity, and never let hatred of anyone lead you into the sin of deviating from justice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next item, please.
Item number 52, discussion and approval of fiscal year 2024 legislative priorities to be submitted to the Knox County State Delegation for consideration.
Thank you so much. This document in front of you is a result of the open meeting that several of us attended several weeks ago. I tried to take notes and also considered input and also rewrites to several of these items. Is there anything in particular that any of you all would like to speak to as we look to approve these priorities for this coming legislative agenda? Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I thought it was a very, very well-written document and outlines a lot of the things that in the past we've hoped to achieve and some new ones as well. I also like the private act considerations. And of course, anything we can do for farmers, we need to keep those in Tennessee. So I think this was very, very well done.
Thank you. It was a joint effort. Everyone had something to say on this. Are there any other comments? Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Thank you. I just wanted to say that also on our electronic agenda package, we did include the Tennessee County Services legislative platform as well, just so everybody could go ahead and review that, because some of them are the same asks from the legislature, but it was approved this past week in Chattanooga, and I thought it would be of benefit to my colleagues on commission.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Second page.
Are there any other comments? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to accept the legislative priorities submitted for this legislative agenda from Knox County Commission.
Second.
We have a motion by Beeler, second by Durrett. Is there any more conversation? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. A reminder to our commissioners, November 3rd at 8:30, we will be having our legislative breakfast with our delegation, and I may be calling upon a few of you that contributed to this to just give a brief 2 or 3 minute synopsis of some of the things that you're particularly passionate about.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes,
Just
yes,
a point
sir.
of privilege, I guess. I have that on my calendar, but I don't have the location. Could you share that, please?
Certainly. It's at Visit Knoxville. Yes, and Drusilla will get out information on parking and more details. All right, any other questions or comments? All righty. Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to wish Commissioner Jay and Adrian a happy anniversary today, I believe, right?
19 years.
All right.
Spending in that commission. I'm proud of you.
The sacrifice.
Wonderful, thank you. Yes, and that is reason for celebration. Any others? All right. Seeing no other lights, no objections, we will adjourn until zoning at 7 o'clock.